Welcome everybody to a playthrough series of one of my favourite games, Battletech. We're doing career mode. Just going to set up our pilot for this one. We'll do... I'll try and do an episode each week. We'll follow the career mode, see how we get on. Not going to cut anything out, so failures, stupid moments, they're all going to be in here. So you're going to see exactly what I've done, exactly how the missions go. And I'll explain what we're after at the moment. So the way I've set this up is we're going to have random mechs to start with. So I don't know which mechs I am going to get to begin with. But at least to start with, we're going to set my guy up with a lot more gunnery than anything else. Gunnery is going to be my primary focus, with probably a little bit of tactics added on. But we really want that sort of gunnery skill. We want that. We want the ability to do the split shot, hit multiple targets with in one turn. So that's the way we're going to go for. So we're just going to set our character up as we want it. And then we'll get into game and see what mechs we get. Of course, we go for a character with a majestic beard. Our call sign's going to be ray gun, as it should be. So let's get into this and see what we get. Like I say, this is going to be a career mode. I've previously played through the story, so we're not going to redo that. We're going to see what, I've never really done a proper full playthrough of career mode. So we're going to see how that shakes out. Get into some fights, collect some battle mechs. Become the, top mercenary company in the galaxy. Okay, so first of all, we need to check what mechs we've got. See what sort of alliance we're working with. And we get a blackjack. They're fine. The Vindicator's nice. Not too thrilled about the urban mech, but it does have an AC 10 on it, so it may not be terrible. Spider's a good sort of starting scout. I think we'll use that until we can find something a little bit more punchier for when I need the scout to be a bit more hit and run. Spider doesn't really add a huge amount of damage to the battlefield, but it does add a lot of speed, so we should be able to use that quite nicely. The Vindicator with the PPC is real nice. But yeah, the blackjack, I've never been a fan of it. I think the Alpha Strike is nice, but unless you're on like an ice planet, you don't really get much use out of it, because it overheats quite a lot. And I find the blackjack also takes a lot of damage. It's not as tanky as I would like, but then again, it is a fairly long range fighter with the AC2s it's got. But as we're doing a start of a new run, we're going to set up our mercenary lance. We're going to pick ourselves a symbol, change our names, and have ourselves a nice colour scheme. Just having a look to see what sort of things we've got in here as standard. We're just going to pick one of the normal ones and go from there. We are going to change our names, our mercenary company name from Raygun Marauders. We'll see what I add in a moment. The knight's helmet, shield, always nice. So I think we'll go for that one. So our mercenary company, because we are Raygun, we're going to go Raygun's Roughnecks. Nice little call out to Starship Troopers. And for our colour scheme, we're going to try and go like a blue and grey as our primary colours. Doesn't necessarily match with our emblem, but That's fine. That's okay. Each of the mechs will have their own sort of different colour scheme anyway, depending on, you know, the mech and how their paint scheme. But now we've got the admin out of the way,
Take off your shoes.
let's go see what contracts we've got available. We're probably going to have to start off sort of quite small. We only really have 2 medium mechs, so we're going to have to play this safe to start with. Although we do have a decent amount of funds on us, we want to make sure that we're not wasting our funds. So we've got a load of half-star missions, so they should be nice and easy enough. Because it's been a while since I've played this, so we're going to want to get our feet under the table a little bit and, you know, start slow. We don't want to risk too much too early, or at least not on the first mission. So we'll just check out which ones are going to give me a decent amount of scrap per a decent amount of payout. So we're going to go for this training day. So I'm only going to end up bringing 1 mech into this, because we're training 4 others. It looks like we're training some fairly light mechs, to be fair. I think the punchiest thing there is probably the Panther. So we're going to take the Vindicator for the PPC and the LRMs. We're not going to be the fastest mech out there, but at least we'll bring some tank to it.
Command interface initiated.
So we've entered the battlefield. We've got to take out the enemies and try and keep everybody alive, because this is a training mission after all. So once we've destroyed the enemies, get to the extraction point and away we go. So we've got Commando, Panther, Urban Mech and my Vindicator. The Urban Mech, as much as it's got that AC-10, it is real slow. I mean, in theory, it should hit fairly hard, providing I hit with it. It's a big if. But it is slow. So we've got enemy contact. We know where a single enemy is.
Confirmed.
So let's just bring ourselves up as much as possible. My Vindicator started at the back, but it's always going to be the slowest mech there, because it is the heaviest mech that is in this lance. So I still don't have full sight on them.
Waiting for orders.
With the joys of the Urban Mech, we're definitely not going to be able to scout anything with that guy. This is why I quite like. This is why I'll bring the Spider on when I can bring a full lance in. I'll bring the Spider because I can get up. I can get up quickly. So for those that aren't, you know, never seen this before, haven't played this before, the further your mech moves in a turn, the more evasion pips that they get, which means that it's harder to hit them, but you lose evasion pips whenever an enemy fires at you. And melee strikes against that mech completely ignore evasion pips. So we always want to try and be moving to get that evasion up, because again we want to give ourselves as much defense as possible. And as you can see, for a lot of these we've got the red line. You'll see that I check this every now and again, because if that effectively denotes your firing arcs. So my Vindicator's got 2 types of weapons. It's got the LRMs, which will do indirect fire, so I don't actually need line of sight for the LRMs. So that's the sort of shot here. I don't have line of sight, but my LRMs can shoot over an arc. Whereas the PPC is a direct sort of line of fire. Ooh, that could have been a nasty hit. Lost an evasion pip, but I don't think it did too much damage to me. Whereas the PPC and the AC-10, as you can see there, we've got a nice solid red line. It means we've got line of sight to them. If it's a broken red line, so it's thicker on one end and it gets sort of lighter, it means I don't have direct line of sight, so any direct line of sight weapons will just miss.
Standing by.
So this is where positioning is in this game is a little bit key, because not only do you need to be able to hit with your weapons, you also need to make sure that you are
Yes, Commander.
keeping the right faces of your mech towards them. You've got more armor on the front, so that you want to be front facing as much as you can until you start getting hit. As you can see there, I've destroyed the left side of that mech, so I want to try and be aiming as much as possible at the left side of their mech, because that's where I'm going to do most damage to it. Because instead of going through all of the armor, it's going to go straight into their structure. But that's also on the flip side for that. We just poured that guy. We've killed its center, so that mech's out, and that's that mission completed. But on the flip side of that, we also want to make sure that if we take damage on one of our side, we are sort of turning that side away from the enemy fire. So there's a lot of complexity within this. I probably made a bit of an error on this one, selecting more loot than money. Especially, I didn't realise it was going to be a single mech at the start that I was fighting. So I lost out a little bit on money. But that's fine.
Questions? I have answers.
Because this is career mode, we'll go in and have a chat with people, but it looks like having a chat with Darius is just going to give us some of the tutorial elements. We don't need that. We'll wing it. I played this a long while ago. We'll figure it out. We don't need that tutorial. So we'll scrap talk to him.
Catch you later, Commander.
And I think we'll go back to the... We didn't take any damage. We don't have any repairs to make. So we'll just crack on with the next mission. So we've still got a mixture of half star and 1 star missions. So we'll select this 1 star mission. We'll leave the balance as sort of medium, so we're going to get a medium amount of money, medium amount of guaranteed salvage. Because this being a 1 star mission, I should get a little bit more salvage, but I won't be able to sort of confirm, exactly what I'm taking. So we're going to leave the commando at home. We're going to put our highest tactics pilot in the highest tactics pilot in the Spider, because we're going to want him to be able to move. And eventually I want to be able to get sensor lock on him. The Spider's great for that because it doesn't add much sort of offensive power, but I can move behind them, move around them, get a huge amount of evasion pips, but then sensor lock, but I don't have that ability yet. So we've got to stop the convoy for this mission. So we've got the convoy exit just to our left, but we're going to want to move up and see where these enemies are. So we'll get the Spider to move up first, and that's the only thing that we're going to do. We're not going to move any of our other mechs until we've got the Spider moved up. So we know roughly which direction they're in now, but we don't know where they are, or how many, or what they've got. So we're just going to keep bringing all of our other mechs up. Just sort of close that distance. So the enemy lance will start moving towards us. So we know they're coming towards us because, again, we're putting the denial zone behind us. The good thing about this map is, in theory, they should be walking down this valley. So we've got a lot of trees up on this hill, so let's push the Spider a little, quite far forward. I want to see if I can get maximum evasion pips out of him and get visibility on them.
What are your orders?
So now that I know where they are, I can then start thinking about where I want to position my harder hitting mechs.
Moving to position.
So the Blackjack and Vindicator I'm going to try and sort of move up to effectively cut the road. And what I'll try and do with the urban mech is get it into some form of
Affirmative, Commander.
sniper spot. Because all it's got is that AC-10. It should hit really hard if I connect with it. But it is a very long range weapon, so ideally I want to be able to see them and snipe them. So we're able to see the first mech that we've got on the field, or that they've got on the field, I should say. We're going to jump and try and get a little bit on the high ground there. So I've got line of sight to him there.
Up high.
So if we use our jump jets, we should be able to get a shot off on this Javelin. It does have LRMs. And like I say, that AC-10 hits hard. We've gone straight to his structure on that. It was a good hit. We have their Scout Jenner coming up.
Yup.
So because our Spider is effectively our scout vehicle, he's got a higher initiative than everything else and he's faster. So we're just going to keep moving him forward within this tree line. So we can see 4 more vehicles there, and those look to be the convoy. The convoy of tanks that we need to destroy.
Engage target.
We are just going to take some pot shots at this Javelin while we're here. Again, I don't have the sensor lock ability at the moment, so I might as well just try and take some pot shots. So this is where I've potentially moved my Spider up a little bit too far, but because he is going to get attacked by all of those vehicles, but he should be able to take it. So now with the Vindicator again, we kind of want line of sight on some of these things. We shouldn't have to worry about heat too much because we are in a colder biome. So again, the other thing in this game that affects your mechs is the biome that you're fighting in. So if I was fighting in a desert, the heat build-up of my energy weapons would be a hell of a lot more than as I'm in a sort of a tundra, frozen environment for this one. And as you can see, my Spider is getting its evasion pips just whittled down by those machines, so he is going to actually start taking some hits. So we want to bring the Blackjack up, but again, the Blackjack is one of those sniper vehicles, sniper mechs. I need line of sight with him.
Good to go.
So my priority at the moment is effectively the 2 mechs that are on the board, because in theory they're not the most dangerous mechs we've got. But the good thing about the tank enemies is they are weak to melee strikes. So this is where if I can get my Spider up close, and if I can survive the hits I'm about to take, I can get into melee range and start stomping on those tanks.
Some serious shit here, Commander.
It's not always a one-shot kill for a melee on a vehicle, but it does a lot of damage. So my Spider's actually taken quite a lot of damage. We've actually been tagged. So that tag's going to cause me a bit of problems, because that's going to allow them to have a better chance of hitting my Spider.
My internals are taking a beating.
But I think the Spider should be okay. We should be able to withstand. I can move him out now. So as you can see, we've got the narc attack attached, which just means I take more damage from enemies. But what we're going to do, we're going to just jump him all the way back. We've got visibility on pretty much everything now, so I can move that Spider back, brace him, and just try and sort of get him a little bit safer, bring my heavier mechs sort of to the forefront. And that enemy Jenner seems like it's a medium laser plus SRM Jenner. Going for my Blackjack, which, yeah, it's fine. Like I say, I've got a love-hate relationship with the Blackjack. I think I used it through most of the campaign missions when I played it, and I never felt like it was great. I can understand why people would like it, don't get me wrong, I just didn't have a great time. So we're going to try and do a cooled shot on the Javelin, see if we can take its leg out. We have destroyed its right leg, so we're going to knock the mech down. So we'll go into as this series progresses, we'll go into sort of how we want to sort of destroy some of these mechs. But targeting the centre, killing the centre of the mech isn't always... It's the most efficient way to destroy them, but it isn't always the best way to destroy them. Because if you target their centre and you effectively core the mech, yes, you take the mech out of combat, but you're only guaranteed to then get one piece of salvage for that mech. Whereas if you take out both of its legs, you'll get two... Because if you destroy both legs of a mech, the mech is then effectively knocked out. And if you do that, you're guaranteed to get 2 bits of salvage for that mech. But if you injure the pilot enough, so if you do manage to sort of like score headshots or, you know, knock it over a lot, if you injure the pilot enough, the pilot will be knocked out, but the mech will be intact. And that's where you get 3 pieces of salvage.
Primary target is damaged, Commander. Keep it up.
And 3 pieces of mech salvage means you get a full mech. So that's where, you know, maybe a more efficient and quicker way to destroy them by doing cool shots on the centre. You know, trying to core it as quickly as possible, and we will certainly do that on some of these mechs. But at the moment, this early on in the game, I want to try and get as much salvage as possible to expand the mechs that I've got, because buying mechs is expensive. So as we can see for the Blackjack, when a mech's knocked down, it's an automatic cooled shot. We've inflicted another injury on that pilot, so I think one more injury and he should be fully out of this fight. And because I've destroyed one of his legs, his movement is going to be a lot slower. He will have also, because I've just sort of taken his arm off, he will have less weapons. So any weapons in that arm, they're now gone. He can't use them. However, all of those tanks are now going to target my Vindicator because he is the closest one to them. We do have that narc attached, so my Vindicator is going to start taking an increased amount of damage, but that should be fine. We should be able to weather it. The Vindicator is one of those early tanks that early mechs that I really like. The PPC is very good. When it hits hard. So with the urban mech, we're going to want to try and get him into line of sight range. The problem we're having with the urban mech, which is the main downside of him, is he's slow. So as you can see, we're going to struggle to hit the Javelin because we don't have full line of sight. But we can hit one of these tanks. We missed the tank. I mean, the fun thing out, I ignore it until it starts causing me a problem. But any of the ballistic weapons, so the AC-2, the AC-10s, any of the AC range, they have a recoil penalty. So if you fire with them every turn, subsequent attacks have a recoil penalty to them, which means it gets progressively harder to hit with, or at least the second shot is harder to hit with them.
Firing.
But the urban mech only has that weapon, so it's not like I can cycle between them. And again, I haven't refit any of these mechs at all. It's way too early in the game. I don't have enough, salvaged equipment in order to do any refits for it. And let's be honest, the default loadouts of these they're fine. They're fine for now. So we do have an enemy spider that was sort of caught at the back. So we do now have a third mech on the field. Still, they're not the heaviest mechs, so they're easily easily deal withable. I'll make that word up. It's fine. But we do need to start cutting those tanks down, getting that convoy dealt with. We are going to have a bit of a repair bill on our hands afterwards because our spider's damaged. And to be fair, the likelihood is I'm going to end up getting some of my other mechs damaged, especially with some of the positioning that I've used. So for that spider, the PPC is a very long-range weapon. So the closer we get with that, the harder it's going to be for me to hit. But it does mean that we can probably take out, or at least damage one of these tanks at the back there. I have repositioned my spider to get closer to them so I can get them in the back lines and start causing some hassle.
Yes, Commander.
So we've got the blackjack. We're gonna jump him a bit further back. So the good thing about using your jump jets is, yes, they increase the heat of your mech, but effectively you can move backwards and still effectively entirely rotate and keep your frontal armor to your enemies. So we've got good shots on the javelin with the blackjack. So I think we'll just try and... Oh no, we went for the scorpion. My mistake. So we're trying to keep whittling down these tanks because the tanks are the things that they're the escort. So that's the convoy we need to stop. So the mechs I could ignore the mechs if I wanted to, but I need to get the tanks dealt with. So as you can see, each shot is just chipping away at my evasion pips, making it easier and easier for subsequent attacks to hit my mechs. And that's the Vindicator taking some structure damage, so we're going to have a repair bill for him as well. But that's fine. This is a 1-star mission with a fairly basic mech lance.
Confirmed.
So I'm not too worried about getting some mechs killed. So this is where we're going to do a death from above attack. It is gonna damage my spider's legs doing this, but because we're doing this to a vehicle, I should nicely destroy that.
Frag the vehicle.
And now the spider's got a lot of evasion pips, and he's in the mix of those vehicles as well, so I can start stomping on them. So that Jenna's just chipping away at my Vindicator.
Ready to rock.
Really need to get this urban mech into a position that I can do some damage with him. See, the AC-10 also has it's got a minimum range. It's better at long ranges, so I need to get him in a bit of a sniper position. So I should now be able to target some of these.
Let's see.
Nice shot there with the AC-10, just immediately destroys that. So we've got 2 more of the convoy to go, but we do still have all three defensive mechs up, although that javelin is not long for this world. So that spider's just come up to try and flank my Vindicator. Although that will put him in a bit of an awkward position, because it will mean that I'll be able to fully melee him if I want to. So we're going to melee that. There we go, we meleeed him. He didn't have much armour left, so we took his core out. So that's the javelin down. So we've still got two tanks to deal with. Thankfully, they're driving towards my blackjack, who will also be able to melee them. And the spider's quick enough to grab them from behind anyway. So this is where that spider's in a bit of a position, because I can just melee him. So I'm gonna get around behind him, and we're gonna hit him from behind. This won't kill him in one.
Physical attack.
That won't hit him at all. Wow, I am terrible. That was a terrible turn of events. We really needed to connect on that. So they're still hitting my Vindicator.
Detecting mech warrior.
And that's a little bit annoying, because I am in that Vindicator, and I've just been injured, so I'm not going to be available for the next mission. That's fine. We've got a spare mech pilot, but the spare mech pilot is not as skilled as I've got. So there, we're going to get the spider to keep meleeing the convoy. As I said, it's not always a one-hit kill with them. I mean, that Jenner is not doing himself any good. He keeps firing his lasers, but he's already got full heat damage, so he's going to be taking structure damage because he's just overheating. So we've got the urban mech. Let's keep trying to focus on these tanks and get them destroyed, because if I can kill them with the urban mech, I can then effectively get the blackjack to also start focus firing on the mechs as well, because we've only got a Jenner and a spider. So the spider's still trying to pull range from me because he doesn't want to be melee'd any more than I do.
Warning. Armor low.
And annoyingly, I've been my pilot's been injured. So again, we're going to pull back with my guy, try and get as many evasion pips on us as possible, because I don't want to be hit. We're going to do a cold shot on the spider and try and take its leg out. I mean, this isn't guaranteed at all, it just increases the chance, but we have destroyed his left leg. So that spider's going to be knocked down and have his movement decreased.
Receiving you.
So I'm not close enough to melee the tank. I could shoot the tank and I could full alpha it. I don't know why I didn't turn on the other...
Time to bug out.
I don't know why I didn't turn on a full alpha strike for that. I'm not really building much heat with the blackjack. I mean, as you can see, this Jenner is on fire right now. It's got so much heat damage. At least it's not firing its lasers anymore.
What are your orders, Skipper?
But all the weapons will generate a certain amount of heat. Even the missiles will generate a certain amount of heat. Am I going to have a sudden rush of shit to the brain and actually melee the spider with an urban mech? I've done dumber things. I mean, I can't get line of sight on that. That's going to be way too close. Can't get line of sight on there. That's going to be a terrible chance to hit, because again, we're just too close with the sniper. I don't have any more enemies over there. And the bug out point, you know, I'm looking for it. I'm going to be honest, with two light mechs on it, I'm probably not going to go for the bug out point. It's probably quicker, well, it will be quicker and easier, and I'll probably take less damage just by trying to destroy these two light mechs. So we're going to try and take the Jenner out.
I'm on him.
Taking out one of his jump jets, but that Jenner has cooled down a little bit.
Skipper.
So, what we are indeed going to do the madness of meleeing with an urban mech.
Okay, Tiger. You You and me.
Doesn't really do a huge amount, but we've got a small laser. So any of the support weapons will fire automatically when you melee. So support weapons are things like the small lasers, the machine guns, flamers. They'll all fire off when you melee. So we've got the Vindicator. We're probably just gonna do a cool shot on the Spider. Try and take out its side armor. We took out its left arm. Annoyingly for the Spider, all of its weapons are in the center. So we're not going to sort of detooth the tiger by, taking its arms out. So we've got plenty of heat space. We're just going to do a full alpha strike on that Jenner. I'm not worried about sort of the Jenner itself. So we'll just try and core it, get it off the board, and good hit with the blackjack.
Orders.
So the Spider's taking quite a lot of structure damage. So we're just going to move him out of the way. Just sort of take him a bit further out of the fight, because the more structure damage we take, the pricier this is going to be to actually repair it. And we will attack. We'll melee attack with the other mech. That actually did a really good hit with the other mech.
Critical hit.
So the Spider's limping away. We've pretty much got this wrapped up. That Spider's never going to be able to take down all of our mechs at all. And the fact that it's lost a leg means it's not going to be able to run away either. So it's just a case of who are we going to take it out with. It's probably going to be the Vindicator, just because the Vindicator's in a much more advantageous position to actually hit the Spider. So that's probably what we're going to do with it. So if we jump over there, we're not really going to get much of a PPC hit on it, but should be good enough. We can increase that chance by doing a cold shot. We are still going to try and take his leg. Didn't quite do enough. Again, too close for the PPC, too close for the LRMs.
On my way.
So, I think this might need the blackjack to kill it. We're going to overheat if we do a full alpha. Don't really want to do that. So we'll turn off a couple of lasers and complete the mission with a scratch another one.
Enemy down.
Mission successful.
So that was the first two missions of our mercenary career. We've got a lot of repairs to do, so we'll get those lined up. We'll take some of the mech salvage, and then we'll roll the dice. We'll see what else we've got that's good. Sometimes you get some decent weapons on here, so we can get some of that narc ammo, which might be interesting to have on, but I don't really have a lot of mechs that are good with missiles, so we'll probably sort of skip that one for now, but we will take the LRM-10. And then on to fixing our mechs. So we're going to just do some admin to sort of close out this episode. So we're going to repair all of our mechs. We're going to level up our mech warriors. Hopefully you've enjoyed the start of this series. There'll be more of it on the channel. We'll continue on. if you like this video, please sort of drop a like and subscribe, leave a comment. You know, let us know what you think about Battletech and about the series. And yeah, thank you for watching. I'll leave you with leveling up our mech pilots, even my injured self. So appreciate the watch, and I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.
Mech warrior training complete.
Skipper?
Training confirmed, Commander.
Yep.
Training complete.
Commander.
Mech warrior training complete.
Standing by.